One arrest that federal agents have made, and apparently the information that suspect or this person they're questioning has given them has been fruitful. Let's go down to Eileen O'Connor now for a broader look at what the investigations are yielding at this point. Good morning, Eileen.
Good morning, Paula. Well, this investigation has an ever-increasing sense of urgency as airports open. Law enforcement sources say investigators say that there is an ever-widening circle of people that they have on a watch list, and they believe that there were other planes that were supposed to be hijacked or other targets hit, but somehow those planes were thwarted when some of the planes were also kept on the ground or detoured. Two men were detained under INS violations in Texas and have been taken to New York City for questioning. One is Mohammed Azmath, and the other is Ayub Khan. Now, both of these men possessed tickets, according to sources, on a Newark flight bound to San Antonio on Tuesday. That flight was rerouted to St. Louis. From there, they got onto an Amtrak train headed to St. Louis. The train was headed to San Antonio from St. Louis. The train was stopped and they were pulled off. Now, sources say they did have box cutters on them, similar to ones that people on the flight said the hijackers used. In addition, the man arrested in New York on a material witness warrant, sources say, was trying to pass himself off with a pilot's license issued to his brother. As you said, he's seen as very important. Now, there are others being sought connected to Texas and to other flight schools in Florida, especially in the Vero Beach area. In addition, there was also a man with French-Algerian documents who is being tracked by authorities near Boston in the summer, according to sources. Authorities won't say if he is in custody, but he is being seen as connected to this case. In his apartment, authorities say, according to sources, that they found aviation material on Boeing planes and also that he was attending flight school. Now, again, some of these men who have been detained, they may well be cleared because, again, the authorities and sources are saying they're being looked at, there are things, but they could be coincidences. So we must warn you that this is very fluid. FBI Director Robert Mueller said yesterday that if they had known that these men were studying at flight schools, they might have prevented this. Paula?
So, Eileen, I know you said the situation is very fluid, and we know the amount of information we're getting is incremental. Give us your sense, given the kind of information you've just expressed that is coming out of some of these folks being questioned, where federal investigators are in the investigation.
Well, they believe that they are proceeding. They are at least widening this net. And one of the things that they're looking at, of course, are people linked to flight schools, people linked by family, perhaps, to some of the hijackers, and they are pursuing those people. Those are the kinds of people that you're seeing on this watch list. We're also doing things like running addresses, which are the kinds of things that we're doing, and then seeing people who lived in addresses that the hijackers lived in, or associates of the hijackers lived in. Now, some of these people aren't being taken in. They are going to be perhaps material witnesses who can just give a lot of information about associates of the hijackers, but it is an ever-widening net, Paula.
And what is the critical information that investigators are trying to glean now?
Well, one of the things they're trying to glean is, are there other plans? That's the one that's really urgent. And who else is behind this and where they are? They could be, have already be in other countries. And they have to see also where the ties lead back. Increasingly, Paula, investigators are seeing a lot of ties to groups associated with Osama bin Laden. And so that is certainly tightening their case and their proof and building their case against Osama bin Laden, as the Secretary of State said, as a prime suspect. It's very difficult, Paula, to get information on this. This is one of the most tightly held investigations I've ever worked on terrorist activities, but they are saying, shows you their urgency, that they may go public with some of these names because they really do want to find these people. Paula?
Well, I think you're doing a darn good job of trying to piece all of these disparate chunks together. Thank you, Eileen.
Thanks.